What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Movie Crack. It's Halloween week, baby. Roll it, boys. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I was very excited about this film. I really like Guillermo del Toro. I like his work, Cabinet of Curiosities and all that. And so I was very excited to see what he was going to do with one of the most legendary monsters of Halloween, Mr. Frankenstein himself. I tell you, this film did not disappoint. This is quite the movie. Let's get into it. Starting off with the story and pacing. So we follow the mad scientist Victor Frankenstein, who creates a monster called Frankenstein. Well, the movie never actually alludes that it's called Frankenstein, but it hints at it. There's a huge cast in this movie, and I'm not going to list them all out because I'd be here all day. But yes, we definitely mainly focus on Victor Frankenstein, played by Oscar Isaac, and the creature he makes. And yes, this is probably the most modern look at this story that we've gotten in recent memory. The last time I got a modern look at Frankenstein, I feel like was Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman that time. And I gotta be honest with you, this movie is a deep character study. It's a dark drama. It's a dark drama, though, that has some great horror elements. If you go into this movie with that frame of mind, you're going to enjoy it a lot more. This is definitely not a horror jump scare factory. It's also not an action monster flick. This is a story about characters. And you can just tell Guillermo del Toro, he just loves these characters. So as I said, you mainly follow Oscar Isaac's Victor Frankenstein character for a lot of the movie. But then in the story, there is a perspective change. And I really, really liked the way they did that. And then in the climax of the movie, those two perspectives kind of collide. And essentially you have Frankenstein, or at least Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. You do really care about the characters in this movie. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, he lets you digest every single part of their personality, really. It's really hard to do that as a filmmaker. The way he tells the story, the way he does the sets, it's very in line with kind of Tim Burton, actually. Got a lot of Tim Burton vibes off of this movie, especially in the set design. And the movie is really a look at how even creatures can have kind of feelings, I guess. It's a look at how kind of ambitions can be dangerous. It's a look at how research can kind of be more damaging than good. There's lots of themes running through this movie. My point is, it all folds up together very nicely. I really do think it's the best depiction of Frankenstein I've ever seen. In fact, I do think some people would call this a masterpiece. I really enjoyed the story in this movie. I was invested in the characters. I cared about them. I was really interested to see where the story was going. Overall, thumbs up for me on the story front. Moving on to the pacing. Not a big fan of the pacing of this movie. This film is 2.5 hours long. And for the most part, I did not feel the burn. But I got to the last half an hour of this movie and I started to really feel the pacing. And it kind of sucked because a lot of climactic moments happen in the last half an hour, but I was so kind of like losing investment that they didn't hit as hard as what they could have. Overall story and pacing, I'm going to go 4 out of 5. Moving on to the visuals. This movie is a beautiful movie, man. Every scene of this movie is gorgeous. Detail in every set, the detail in every scene, absolutely stunning. The movie definitely does not shy away from gore either. This is some of the best body gore I've seen in a horror movie. For example, there's one sequence where Mr. Frankenstein, he's putting a body together using dead soldiers from a war, and it just gives you the fucking ick, you know? And yes, as I mentioned earlier in the review, it definitely has some Tim Burton vibes going on, especially in the set design, like the funky picture frames and the crooked walls and that kind of thing. Love the visuals in a spooky way. There are definitely some CGI heavy moments in this movie, though. There's a sequence involving an angel, and it's very CGI, in your face CGI. The sequence usually happens in the form of a dream, so I guess you could put it down to that, but it still takes you right out of the movie. Also, there's some scenes that use, for example, animals that are very CGI animals. And it's a pity because this movie has some of the best scenes I've ever seen visually. But then you plonk a CGI animal into the middle of it, and it just kind of is like, oh, well, I know that's a fucking computer generated animal. Like, it sucks. Overall, gore looked good, scenes look good, a bit of ropey CGI here and there, but not too bad. Creative direction, I love where they went with the movie. It had spooky vibes to it, it had gore, it had good characters, good character building. You were invested, I liked it. Overall, visuals and direction, I'm actually going to give a 4.5 out of 5. Lastly, sound and score. The music is very good in this movie. It's kind of a slow instrumental thing that kind of carries you through the story. You really liked it. Sound effects were also awesome. The animals sounded good. The gore sounded good. The intense sequences sounded good. There's a few explosions. They all sounded good. Really liked the sound and music in this movie. Overall, sound and score for me, 4 out of 5. I did not know what to expect when it came to Frankenstein, but I really enjoyed my time with it. One of those surprise highlights of the year so far. I've had a few of those in the last week, so it's been pretty nice that way. That being said, do all the good stuff. Like, subscribe, do all that. We have a TikTok if you like shorter videos. That being said, see you in the next one. Hopefully it's a good one. Good luck.